How are you, mate?
How do?
Very well, thank you very much.
Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin, Born Under the Wandering Star, Lee Marvin was. That's his song, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Croaky voice.
Yeah.
So,
I could relate to that, Born Under the Wandering Star, where I was meeting Born Sam.
well,
And what happened to me?
you know, baby Jesus born in a stable, not a lot different, was it, really?
No, that's it, yeah.
Being Christmas and all that, bit of a religious start. Yeah, so we're doing his story
I was Born in Style, mate, that's the one.
at your man's pace.
Yeah. Yeah, so, bloody hell, Sam.
So where do you want to start, mate? You just...
Start from the start, eh? Start from the beginning, eh?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bloody hell. Born in HMP Style. Baby unit. Mother and baby unit.
Before you even get into it, can I ask something? Because I thought about this the other day. At what age did you find out that you'd been born in prison?
The earliest I can remember. That's what I find. Like, my mum, my adoptive mum.
Told you?
Yeah, I used to call her mum. Okay, so that's my mum. So, yeah, so my mum used to tell me that I was a special little child from the start. That she picked me because I had beautiful eyes.
Oh, she didn't hide the fact that you were adopted? She told you?
No, she told me from the minute.
So from day one, you were adopted and born in prison?
I was a very special child born in prison, and I was picked because I had a beautiful eyes and blah, blah, blah.
At what age did you think about that? As in...
Wow, Sam, I was thinking about that from very, very early.
Really?
I used to go to a bush. There was a berry bush. Because these bushes near where I lived, and there was this berry bush. And I used to pick the berries off the bush, and I'd think, nah, this is me. And there's loads of other berries on that bush. Where are the rest of my berries? Because I couldn't find them, because I was told that I was picked. So I used to pick one off, hold it in my hand and think I was picked. Yeah.
So you're thinking about the rest of your family?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, it used to make me cry a lot. I used to cry a lot. Couldn't think of it, Sam. I was too young to...
Did you not feel like you had a family at that age?
I felt very alone. I felt like I was the only one. I felt very, very alone from very, very young.
Did you?
Yeah, even though I had my sister, my adoptive sister, she was 5 years older than me. So, but she didn't look like me because she was very dark skinned. Yeah. So yeah, she didn't look like me. So, and obviously my adoptive dad, he was Jamaican. He didn't look like me. My mum was white Welsh. She didn't look like me. So
Can I ask you? Did obviously political correctness now? Yeah. Back then, you'd have been called half-caste, wouldn't you?
Half-caste, yeah. Half-caste. Yeah.
Obviously, that's
changed. It's a strange one, isn't it? Half-caste. I mean, what's the full cast to that one? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you had mixed race, dual nationality. But that aside, did they pick you? Yeah. Because your dad were black and your mum were white, so you could have possibly been their kid.
Well, I don't think so, because why I thought about that and why I think they didn't is because before me, they picked a girl who was black, very, very dark skinned, like my sister Marie. Yeah. She was black as...
Did they have her from a young baby?
They picked her as well, yeah. She wasn't wanted though. She was told from a very early age that you wasn't wanted, you was... Because this is what my mum was trying to tell you straight, to tell us the facts. So she said, your mum wanted to do a nursing career and she picked it over you, so she give you up. So she never got over that ever. She never got over that.
Well, that's quite harsh, isn't it?
Yeah, it was harsh to tell her that, yeah. But that's what she told her. That's what they told her.
So, you're born in prison. Where did you go from prison?
Well, I went to an orphanage. So I was on the mother and baby unit, and they was asking my mum, like, does she want to keep me or not? And it was a hard decision. So I've got the paperwork on the decision, and it tore her apart because she was saying no 1 minute, then she was saying I don't know, then she was saying okay, then she was saying no. So I think they can only have the baby in the prison for a certain amount of time on the mother and baby unit.
Let me tell you this interesting fact. You know, when I spoke to the ex-prison governor, Ollie, she worked at Style on the mother and baby unit. Wow. And one lass had her child on there till she got released, and the child was 2 years old.
Wow.
So from being born, she had to fight for it. They were going to take the child off her.
Yeah. So but I think back then, what happened was, I think I was with her for a while. Do you know what's funny? I'll tell you the truth. I can remember the last time I felt a heart next to mine. There's a thing called an etheric cord, and it's like a cord what everyone's connected to, and it's like I felt it. I felt my heart and her heart next to me. I can sense it somewhere in my DNA. Like the last time she had me in her arms, I can feel that. I can remember it for some weird reason.
It's very
and
strange.
I've always said I can remember it. I've always said I can remember that. Yeah, I've always said I can remember that time. So
the orphanage.
Yeah, that was an hard one.
So how old
so
were
in
you?
The orphanage.
Do you know how old you were when they put in?
No,
the orphanage were next to the prison, was it?
It was close to the prison. It was close to the prison. Yeah. So I was born in Style. Right. So close to the prison was the orphanage.
Style's a prison.
Yeah. So I can always say I was born in Style.
Hey, look at me.
Born in Style, eh? Bloody hell, Sam.
Yeah, but some people might not know, eh?
No,
it is a prison.
It is a prison. It's a prison. Yeah. So the orphanage. So me adoptive dad, the Jamaican fella, Sonny, he's called.
Yep.
He's told me since then that it was a horrible place. He said it was a horrible place. He said there was babies in the cots, in the rooms, crying. They'd be ignored. Because they went to choose the baby there.
Yep.
So he said they went another time and they got told that they lock the babies in the rooms at 4 o'clock and they don't go back till the next day then, till the morning, obviously. So that's your last feed and whatnot, night 4 o'clock. So when I was in...
Is this late 70s or something like that?
Mid-70s, yeah. Mid-70s, yeah. So I think I was an handful in there because... And I was definitely one of the longest to spend in the orphanage because I was there many, many months. I was there till... I was about 9 months I spent in the orphanage. So then I got signed off eventually for good in September 75. And I was born in the 3rd of July, 74. So that's when they actually got me. That's when the official paperwork was signed. That's when my mum had to sign. So my mum signed that paperwork because she thought I was being adopted to 2 doctors. 2, obviously, doctors, successful. Yeah?
Yeah.
So obviously, I wasn't being adopted, given to 2 doctors. They'd lied to my mum.
Who lied to her?
I don't know. It was there somewhere. I think it's on the paperwork somewhere. And I don't know who said it to her that, but she thought I was going to 2 doctors. So my dad was a factory worker.
Yep.
And my mum was a stay-at-home mum. But I think they used to get paid for minding kids as well. I think that's what my mum used to do, earn a few quid off the social government for minding children. Because there was a lot of children going through my house when I was...
Was there?
Yeah.
There was, with the adoption, a bit of social services involvement, weren't there?
There was a lot because she had a probation officer and she had to... So she was going to probation in London and asking, can I send him letters and Christmas cards and birthday cards? So she didn't really understand the implications that she was never going to see me again.
Back then, was that is how it is. Yeah, you give your kid away, that's it, they're done.
Back then, once you give your kid away, they try to get you as far away as possible from your birth. They try to dismiss it. Like, I've got 2 birth certificates. I've got my proper one, my original one.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've got my other one. Yeah. So in the orphanage, it must have been harsh because one of the first things I can remember my mum saying to me is, I never burnt you, son, I never burnt you. And I was like, what do you mean? And because she used to smoke a lot, that's all she did, is just sit there smoking fags, yeah?
Yep.
So she used to say, I never burnt you, it wasn't me. So I'd say, what do you mean? She'd say, well, you've got this burn where they burnt you. So I couldn't see it, obviously. It's on my back.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, and it must have been someone very angry or something.
It's quite shocking, that.
Yeah, so someone's put a cig out on my back. So what happened was, when they went to sign me out of the orphanage, they've done a check on me, right? My mum's done a check on me. The social worker was there as well, and they found this burn. And he was like, oh my God, what's happened here? Like, and you know, obviously they've gone and spoke to the people in the orphanage, and they didn't have an answer for where it come from. They couldn't answer it. No one could find the answer. So it got to the point where, I think that's why I spent so long in the orphanage. So it got to a point where my mum got told, either you sign him now, take him, or you can like start an investigation or whatever what you want to do.
Is that someone wanting it under carpet, or is that someone we don't know, do you?
You'd never know.
So it could have been someone who wanted it out of their hair,
yeah.
Or it could have been someone who said, look, if you want this child, please take him. Otherwise,
so my mum said, I took you out because I didn't want you to get again. So.
What do you think about that now? Because obviously that is a scar on your back. It's quite a big scar.
It's an hard one, isn't it? Fucking hell, Sam. Yeah, it hurt a lot, especially when I was a kid. I used to think, wow, was I hated that much? Like, you know what I mean? That's what I used to think. Like,
Did you see?
Was I hated or something?
No, I wouldn't have thought that you'd. Obviously, it makes sense that you. Well, it doesn't. I wouldn't have known that you'd have thought something like that.
Yeah. I used to think that I was just on this planet on my own.
See, a lot of things, it's a fact, isn't it, that happen when you're a child or whatever, stick with you. And obviously,
it stuck with me, all right, because
we're only just getting out of the frigging orphanage. You're 9 months old, and these things are still.
Yeah. So I remember I used to whack my head off the pillow. I'd hold my pillow like I was holding somebody. Bang, 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 and I'd just bang my head off the pillow. And my sister would come in and go, "Stop banging your head off the pillow." And like, I'd hear my dad banging, "Stop banging," but I couldn't help it. I'd just be banging, bang, bang, bang. I remember counting to like 900 and stuff, 1,000, and then I'd fall asleep. And then I'd wake up. I'd have these weird dreams when I was asleep. Like, I'd have these dreams that I'm helping my mum mop the kitchen. That's what I'd think. Oh yeah, I'm mopping the kitchen. And I'd wake up and I'd piss the bed. I'd be like, shit, I pissed the bed. Because I know my dad would go fucking mental. Like, he didn't know how to handle it, so he used to just beat me thinking that's the way to deal with it. You know what I mean? So I used to get fucking...
Was that how he was brought up?
Yeah, he had an hard upbringing, yeah. I think he was abandoned off his mum and dad, actually, because he told me that he had to go and live with his auntie as a boy. And he lived in Jamaica in like a jungle park. He had to run through the jungle to get to his auntie's house and whatnot. Like, he had and he used to get beat with bamboo and stuff, so that's what he used on me. And he'd buy those fishing rods, what you get, the kids' ones with the bamboo. And they hurt me. Oof. I used to work that. Fuck me, that hurt. Yeah.
So how long did that last?
A long time. I used to get beat for weeing the bed. But I turned into a bit of a wayward child after that, because I just felt like I was here on this planet on my own. So I'd just wander around, going into empty buildings and stuff.
What, as a young kid?
Yeah.
How old? 5,
6, yeah. Very young. I'd be going in all the empty houses, you know, and just looking round and stuff, and in all the old mills. Now all the mills are all multi-million-pound apartment blocks.
Yeah.
But now, back then, there was literally mills, what was abandoned. So I used to go in the mills and play around in the mills.
That's still times when...
Really dangerous, though.
Yeah, of course.
Because I remember being in the lifts and climbing up like the lifts. You know, inside the lift shaft, there's like a 6-year-old kid climbing up the lift and stuff to get to the top of the tower and whatnot. Very dangerous. Like,
how did you find school then? Did you have friends at school?
Yeah, primary school. I used to wee the bed and wee myself and stuff in primary school. I remember having to carry my underpants home and stuff. and get a whack for that, you know what I mean? But I always remember my mum saying, like, don't hit him round the head, don't hit him round the head. And that sort of concerned me in a way, because I used to think, like, she's not trying to stop it, because he never used to hit her.
Yeah.
He wasn't a violent person. The only time he was violent was to me, when he'd just go.
You see what you've
like
said
he wasn't
there?
violent to me mum,
No.
sort of thing.
It's not, you're not justifying what he did, but in saying that he wasn't a violent person,
yeah,
it's like what he did to you is of no significance.
Yeah.
Do you think your mum didn't want you to eat in head because obviously if you were at school people will question that even then, wouldn't they?
Yeah, possibly, yeah, it could be that. Could have been that, yeah. Could have been that. But then again, it might have been because she didn't want me to get a whack round the head and get really hurt. Yeah.
Do you think about these things still?
Yeah, of course I do.
All the time?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man, of course.
You still see your dad, don't you?
Yeah, I still see him. I still go and see him. Yeah. Go and see him.
Right, so let's go back to the mills.
Yeah. The
mills. As you progress.
Running round the mills, bloody hell. Messing about in the mills. Then we started. I used to break into the mills then.
How old were you then?
Young. 8s and 7s. We used to get in all the mills round our estate. There was a sticker factory on our estate. Remember those scratch and stiff Snickers?
Yeah.
We used to make them, so we used to burgle that all the time. We'd be breaking into it every other night. And the boys would the older boys would get in and throw all the stickers out to us and stuff, you know what I mean? Or the mill, the factories next to them, all the jumpers and like the mills. They'd take the boxes out the mills and then they'd be selling them around the estate and whatnot, you know what I mean? So then all the time there'd be stolen gear being sold around our estate, you know what I mean? Like, because no one had money, so not everyone's.
Of course
not everyone had a lot of money. But I remember there was a woman on our estate, and she was an angel really. She used to get all the kids together. She used to arrange a coach. She used to take us out, like Chester Zoo or Blackpool. Yeah.
Did she have money?
Did she? Yeah, she had no. Mrs. Mason.
How old were you then?
Do
you know?
4s and 5s, yeah. Very young boy. She used to give me a cuddle and that.
So, the bedwetting thing, it seems...
Yeah.
When did you grow out of that?
About 11. I was an old lad then. I was bleeding, taking gas and everything by 11. No, what happened was, I seen some boy sniffing glue in an empty house. And I pushed the door and he was there, sat there like, and I ran off. But I knew who he was. He's dead now.
Did you know what he was doing?
I just knew he was messing with the glue. This is the first time I ever seen it. And I was looking at I went home, ran to my bedroom, thought about it, and then the next day I went back and there was like an Evo stick tub there. There was loads of tubs of empty bags. These was hard, these bags, you know what I mean? Like the glue had hardened in them, obviously. So I'm smelling them, and I popped the tin open and I'm smelling it. And it's like, whoa, this wave hit me like, whoosh.
Did they sell Evo stick now, or was it?
Yeah, they still sell it, mate. Yeah, you can still buy it.
For those who don't know, it's a glue,
It's a glue, yeah. It's a glue. Evo stick glue, yeah.
Obviously what you're talking about is another thing, but even as a kid,
yeah,
it's got a pleasant smell, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice smell, yeah, but it gets you absolutely, it takes you to another dimension, so it does.
So was that your first time?
Yeah, when I tried the glue, I thought, wow, this is beautiful. This is like, is this like living? Is this the way? Is this nice? Is this good? Like I was thinking, wow.
Did you get high?
Yeah, I was high as a kite. I went to somewhere else on it. You start hallucinating heavily and you vanish, you're not yourself. You go to this another place. Like, and this place is all pleasant and there's all these colours round you. It's like you're in a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory type situation, yeah? So you've got all the twirling colours and yeah. And it's just like so nice. You go to this place and you're there for a bit, and then as you start coming down, you're coming back to reality then. So then you try and do it again to get there again, don't you? You know what I mean? And
yep.
So I started doing the glue, started messing with the glue bags.
Were you doing it on your own?
Yeah, I was doing it on my own. And another lad now as well who's dead. Some kid as well. Sometimes we used to do it together, my best mate when we was kids. And I enjoyed it, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it. And then I was going in the shops and just picking things up, no pinching. Started just pinching stuff out the shops, like Mars bars and sweets and stuff. I remember the first time I done it, and I was like, you're not allowed to do that. And the woman in the shop was like, leave him alone, leave him, okay? So then I've done it again. I started doing it, going into the local shop. Did you
get like a buzz off it, or?
I didn't realise the implications of picking things up, and like I didn't understand you had to pay for things and whatnot. Yeah, I didn't really understand all that, okay? So I just knew that I'd taken it, going, all right, leave him alone sort of thing. And then one day my dad found out and he absolutely levered me. He levered me. So the woman in the shop, she started giving me the chocolate instead of me taking it. Bless her. Yeah. So yeah, things was quite tough.
Did you go to secondary school?
Yeah. Yeah, secondary school was an hard one, yeah, because I was I was 11 and we just moved from one estate to another.
Yeah.
And this guy said to me, I've got this games console, messing with these games. I meet this lad anyway, he's older than me, he must be about 17, 18, and I'm 11. Because where we moved to, there's this big, massive 4 blocks of flats that overlook it. So he lived in one of the flats, he lived with his mum, so like he used to go to his bedroom and swap games and stuff, yeah. And one day he just said to me, my mate's got games over there, like, and I'll take you over to him. So he took me over to this guy's house, and he was a paedophile. So I walked in his bedroom, he put this big toolbox behind the door, and just started putting his tongue, licking me all over, all right? So yeah, that happened. And then, so I went through that, and I just went home and I thought, my God, what has just happened to me? But who can you tell? Who could I tell? Like, I felt half like embarrassed. Then I felt like it was my fault. Then I thought my dad had just battered me or whatever.
What would have saved you from that? You know, I'm a big believer in educating kids, me.
Yeah.
All ages, kids in school, without harping on about it. You know, obviously you present it in a way, but all ages abuse.
Yeah, they need to be told, and they need to report it as well. It's very important. So.
This is the thing, isn't it?
Very important, mate. Honest to God, like me, it was weird, man. I fucking hell. It happened to me, and then, like, I was just so confused and shit. And then I come home from school one day, and his van's parked outside my mum and dad's house, because he was a delivery driver, this whole fella.
And your parents know him?
Well, this is what I mean. I walked in the house and he sat there, and he's gone, oh yeah, I've just told him that, you know, my mum going shop for her and all that. Wow. This guy raped me, and now he's come to my mum and dad's house, and he's sending me to the shop. You know what I mean? So he sent me to the shop for his mum. His mum's just some elderly, like near the 80s and late 80s, and she should just sit there watching the snooker, like in the living room. So so he was there in my house, and it was like, oh my God. So I had to go shop for him, and then he started just turning up and saying, you coming out with me to help do these deliveries. And he'd just go to town on me and do what he wanted to do. And then, but I started getting my strength. So I started just avoiding him and stuff, and saying nah, saying no.
What did he say to you, mate?
Pushing him off me and stuff.
a lot of it is embarrassment. Don't want to say anything. Don't want to upset your mum
Don't
and
want
dad.
to tell the police.
Why do you not want to tell the police?
Because of being called whatever they call you nowadays, don't they? They call you names for it. So that's why it was a weird one. I was confused. So I thought, wow, do you tell? Do you not tell?
Did you tell anybody?
Do you tell?
Do
you
tell
not
anybody?
tell? No, I told nobody.
Did you think he might be doing it to somebody else as well?
He was. I seen him one day in a van with another child.
Did you not?
And you know what's funny? The caretaker of the flats. So he's a caretaker. He lived right opposite this fella, and he used to watch me going in my school uniform with this man in his late 50s, and he'd be in the lift with us. So the three of us would be in this lift, and he'd be just like that to the caretaker. You all right? Yeah, how you doing, baby? And I'd just be stood there thinking, why is this guy not saying to this man like something like, what are you doing with him? No one would ever speak. No one ever spoke. Caretaker said nothing. So I thought, is it normal? Is this what like love is and whatnot? 11.
No, sadly, you know this is what people think, though, don't they?
11. You're confused.
Did he tell you not to tell anyone? You know, you get in trouble.
That's what he said. Yeah, that you get in trouble, and you know what I mean. You'll like that's don't tell tales and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, mate.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. You know, when people say to kids, you need to keep this a secret.
It's very
kids should know that things like that. Yeah. You know, they're not going to get in trouble. That things are wrong.
Yeah, they don't understand though. You don't understand when you're a child that things like that are wrong.
So how long did this happen for, Mark?
This happened for about a year and over. And I started just avoiding him then, and just pushing him off me, saying no and stuff. And it was just weird. It was like I couldn't get away from him. He was just ruthless. He was just a proper hardcore paedophile. He was a proper animal. Do you know what I mean? He was an animal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Turning up at my mum and dad's house. Because he knew I was adopted, clearly I wasn't theirs. So he knew I was like a little different. You know what I mean? He would have seen my black sister sat there. So he knew. He had me by the balls. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it was a tough, man. I had it horrible. So I used to take a lot of drugs to try and escape. The gas, I started taking a hell of a lot of butane gas. Glue. Yeah, I started messing with the glue. Then I started sniffing gas after the glue. The gas is...
How old were you then?
The same, 8, 9, 10.
Fucking hell, man.
So I got addicted to the gas. I got badly addicted to gas for a long time.
Honestly, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Told you I know a lad, he did die.
Yeah.
When he was about 18, who'd been on gas for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I remember he didn't live with his parents, he lived in a flat, and my mate was a mate of his.
Yeah.
We went to his house, and when we went in, it was a shared house, and I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
You know, somebody got a motorbike in here, smells of petrol.
Yeah,
we went in the
you?
bedroom in these bags full of cans everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know and he sort of looked at me, or do gas, I'm thinking...
Well, it's not illegal, is it?
Because
it's not illegal.
No, it's not illegal. But growing up, I had no idea. You know, I'd done alcohol, started having a drink when I was 14, 15.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like that. I didn't understand what it were.
Yeah.
His day was going out and going all over Sheffield to different places to buy a couple of bottles, because obviously they legislate now.
Yeah.
So he'd go here.
Yeah.
Then he'd get on Buster Gleedless.
Well, I used to have to do that as well. I used to go to different shops, but they know who you are. They know what you're doing. You're only a kid. You're buying cans of gas. I'd do loads of it. I'd be sat there, full can. I remember
do it on your own again.
I remember one day I was sat there, like on a Saturday morning, like my mum and dad used to go shopping in town. So I've got up, and I just presumed that my sister had gone with them like she normally does. Okay. So I've got up about 9:30, got a tin of gas, sat in my mum's chair, in my mouth like this. So I'm away with the fairies, I'm on another planet. And I felt this whack round my face, doosh, and my head went doof, but because I was hallucinating, It was as though it was like a slow motion type. It's as though I was watching it in slow motion, and I felt the whack, and I thought, wow, this is a crazy trip what I'm going into. And I can hear my sister going, what are you fucking doing? Obviously the gas is gone, and I'm like, where? And I look round, because the gas stays in your mouth, so you talk as you got gas, because obviously the gas is in your system, so you're like, what, okay, like that, yeah. So I turned around like, what? And she's gone, what are you fucking doing? She started fucking going mad. I'm gonna tell my mum and dad. And I just thought, do what you fucking want, I'm not asked. And that's what she did. She told him he's sniffing gas. So then the gas used to get locked in a little cupboard, you know, my mum's gas, because she used to get the gas for the lighters. But I'd know where the key was, the second key in. I'd always leave a little bit in it like that. Tan it, get it to that much. So when she's done a lighters, 2 lighters, she's run out. The lighters, you know, she's flicky. She used to do 20 to 46 a day, or whatever it was, hell of a lot. So she's going through a lot of gas. So every week or 2 weeks, there'd be a new tin of gas in the house. You know what I mean? And I'd be just tanning the gas, like, just to escape from what was going on. You know what I mean? Yeah, I felt like it. The world had never done anything good for me up to that point. So we weren't going to start then, was it? You know what I mean? Wow. So yeah. So that.
So early teens then. What happened in your early teens? Did you go to school?
Yeah, I went to school, but I was just a problem. I was a problem in primary school, Sam. I used to get the strap in primary school. So you know what I did? I burgled the school. Yeah. Me and my mate went to the school.
Robbed the strap.
Well, we went for the strap. We couldn't find it. Okay. We burgled the school. We went to the head teacher's. We broke in the head teacher's window, climbed in, got all the felt tip pens and started writing marker all over the office. It had a silent alarm on it. Police have come. We get nicked for the finger. We're under 10. Obviously, it's the legal age of crime, innit? 10. So we're under that. So they just take us home, give us a warning. Next day I go in school, I get the strap, you know what I mean? Put your hands out like this. Some big piece of leather about 20 inches long with 3 strands on it.
Watching this now, yeah, they stop sort of.
Yeah, I used to get the strap in school. So the head teacher used to get sent to the head teacher's office, and she had a big 20-inch piece of leather, like thick brown leather, and on the end of it was cut into 3 strips. And you'd put your hands out like this, and it'd whack your hands, and it'd wrap right round your hands, and you get 20 of them or whatever.
Do you think that were brutal?
Didn't even hurt. I was getting more at home. That was nothing. You know what I mean? I'd rather she do.
Yeah, but how do you think about it in schools? I mean, I got caned when
that's brutal, mate.
The first time I got caned.
That's just introducing violence to a child, isn't it? It's normalising violence.
When I was 13, I got caned by Miss Perry at King Edwards. I had 2 welts on my arse, raised.
Yeah.
And when I went home,
I don't know about welts, mate.
My mother were like, "What you done? Been fighting, got caned. Serves you right."
Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. It's weird, isn't it? Eh? Nowadays, you wouldn't get away with it, yeah. So
I used to get strapped for assault.
You would, yeah. I used to get strapped nearly every day. I was getting strapped nearly every day. Problem in school. So like I say, I burgled that school. I burgled the other school close to us, over the way. Broke into another one of the primary schools. So then when I went to secondary school, I was already just a little rascal, really.
Broken.
I was broken, yeah. I was lost.
I don't mean that.
Child.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was
not
lost.
Meaning it any
I was more than broken. I was a lost child, mate, because this was happening to me, you know, after school, and then so I had to keep that a secret. So I just used to play up, mate. I just wanted someone to give me some attention, I think. And I look back now, yeah. But instead they did the opposite. They just thought I was a problem child. You know what I mean? My discipline, my behaviour was through the roof.
I think then things didn't get questioned, would they now? No. I would like to think now, if someone, if I were in that position, in fact, sadly, do you know what now? I look back at situations in my life where I've been, and, you know, with kids at school who were problematic, you know, some who were my friends and things like that, and now I'm thinking, you know, what's made them like that.
Yeah, that's it. There's a reason behind everything, isn't there, Sam? So
Sadly.
yeah, I was playing up. I couldn't concentrate and stuff. I was a very clever boy. I'll tell you what. I was a very clever boy growing up. They used to play me at home. Like my party trick was doing maths off the top of my head. So you could give me any numbers and I'd add them up. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'd be able to do that, like as that, just off the top of my head. So I was very clever. But in school, I never got nothing. I couldn't concentrate because of what was going on, what was happening to me. So I couldn't write it all down.
Did you play up at school to people?
Yeah,
you know,
I just
like,
played up. Yeah, I couldn't sit
show
with
off.
I didn't respect any adults, Sam. I didn't respect them. I didn't. Do you know what I mean? I didn't. Like, how could I? Like, what had any of them ever done for me? Like, help me in any way? You know what I mean? So like, I didn't respect adults. I couldn't connect to an adult. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I just used to play up, and then I got to like, I started body popping and stuff when I was a kid, yeah. Used to do the break dancing and stuff.
Yeah, I used to obviously not do that.
So we used to go to these clubs round doing body popping and whatnot, and I won a record for my body popping, yeah. And it was called White Lines. Right?
I remember that.
Yeah. Wow. So I got White Lines. I won it when I was about 8. Okay, say 82 I won it, about 82 or maybe 84, probably 8 or 10. So whenever White Lines, the song came out, right, I won it. I remember getting it as this big thing, Glam Master Flash, yeah. So I used to play it over and over and over, and I never understood what it meant. I never understood the message, what it was giving. I used to sing along to it. White lines going through my mind. The more I see, the more I do.
Yeah,
okay?
You know what? I would have never twigged. It's obviously not, it wasn't in my record collection. However, now you've just said that, I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Are we getting stalked?
Yeah, I think the police have been passed
Yeah,
about
I think
10
we're getting
times.
staked out, aren't we here?
Yeah, because, they probably, it's because I've been here a while now, they probably recognise my face and they're like, you know what I mean, they've probably brought a team. Wouldn't surprise me if we get surrounded in a minute, Sam.
How many cars have been up and down here?
We've had about 12 police vehicles go past out in the last 5 minutes. Yeah. So I'm giving you a warning now, if we get surrounded, I've got nothing on me illegal. Have you got anything illegal in the car? I'm joking.
Listen, no, it's good, a bit of light-heartedness. It was quite heavy. So so when you get to your teenage years, you're coming up to leave school. Yeah. What point? I
was in town then. I was rolling around the city centre with all the lads and
what, 15,
14, 13, 14, 13, and then taxing came out, so everyone started doing.
Explain what taxing is, because
robbery, street robbery. Yeah, taxing. So that started going around, taxing. So me and my mate, I was with him one day and he took a ring off someone. And a cap and a cigarette. I asked the guy for a cig. As my mates taxed him for a gold ring, this is a robbery. I don't understand it's a robbery, so I'm only 13. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? This is a robbery. I ask him for a cigarette, the guy gives me a cigarette. We walk away, we get picked up, we get arrested for robbery, okay? So we're in the police station, police officer, I'll go for a wee. Mum and dad said, obviously I'm a teenager. Yep. Police officer says to me, if you was fucking older, I'd kick fuck out of you for doing that. Like,
did you know what he meant?
Oh, I knew he meant he would give me a good hiding, mate, for fucking doing that, do you know what I mean? And like it wasn't me, Sam, it wasn't me who did the robbery, sort of. I didn't actually physically do anything, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like in my mind, I was just, my mate was doing something wrong to him, but I was just doing something normal, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get arrested for robbery. So I get a probation order, I think, for it. Or I get a probation order for a robbery.
Did you go to court for it?
Yeah, I went to court for it, yeah. And I got a probation order. So I'm playing snooker with a probation officer. And that's all I have to do, is I have to go to his office, play snooker after school, yeah. But also, I started selling drugs for some woman on my estate. Me and my mate, my mate is a bouncer now. Yeah, back then he was like 2 years older than me.
Yep.
So I was always into something a little bit older because he was a couple of years older than me. I was always into something a little bit older. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
when we was like 13, 14, this woman who we met, she was a drug dealer and she used to serve
We've got
from a
camera
block of
crew going past now.
Yeah, the camera crew. Yeah, that'll be facial recognition. That.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, so we'll just try and get it over with before they come. That's what I'm thinking now. Yeah, before they come and jump on us.
Yeah.
Because we probably will get a pull, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. What was I saying then?
Saying about probation order and that.
Oh yes, so my probation order. So I've got a probation order for a robbery, and still going in town. But it's funny because.
How did your mum and dad react to this? Did you get levered?
Well, no, I was a bit too big for him to start beating me then, 13, 14. He couldn't do it then. He sort of had to stop. When I was still wee in the bed at 11, he couldn't beat me then. I was a bit too big. I would be saying, nah, what are you doing now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try and got his hands on me, I wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah, and I'd just run out the house and stuff like that. So we realised then, got to an age where I'm not accepting it, you know what I mean? It's unacceptable, yeah. So like he stopped it then, Yeah. So, yeah, so 13, 14, going to school, playing up in school, got expelled from school in the end. I get expelled when I'm 15. They say, we're not having you in anymore. You're too much trouble. You're causing us shit. I've already been arrested for robberies, so I'm on probation. They know that the school get notified, don't they?
Yeah.
So I'm selling drugs as well. So after school, we go to this woman's house. She used to live in a block of flats, and she used to sell through the spile. We used to sell drugs for her through the spile. So there was a round spile.
Yep.
Like a circle in the door.
Yep.
But you just slip back like that and we'd pass the drugs through the door to people. And no one knew it was us. So one day, the taxmen have come to try and rob it. So these guys are at the door saying, open the door now. Fucking open the door.
Are these men?
Yeah, these are men.
Kids?
We're kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're saying, open the fucking door now. Open the door. Who the fuck are you? And they're booting the door. And me and my mate are going, what are we going to do here? Shit, what are we going to do? And in the end, we have to got no choice but to open the door. As soon as we open the door, they go, oh, Hughes, Marv. So it's the older lads from our estate. I didn't know they knew us, but they knew us.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we didn't know it was you. Like, you know what I mean? And like, but she can't be serving round here because she's not from round here. So you know what I mean? So they're not taxing us. They've come to tax us, but they ain't taxing us now because they know who we are, because they know we're from the estate. So they don't tax us. So they leave us alone. We carry on selling drugs. So in the end, I think she got run off the estate. But by that time, it's Ecstasy's out. It's 1988, 89.
Yep.
This is the summer of love when the rave scene started. So I'm selling ecstasy, I'm selling LSD, I'm selling acid. I'm taking acid, I'm taking ecstasy, I'm taking LSD. I used to take LSD on a Saturday morning and trip all weekend. Like just take acid and then take another one at the night.
Are you out at house? Are you at home?
Yeah, I've gone 15 years of age. I get a job. My sister, I get expelled from school at 15.
Can I ask you on that?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot around. There is statistics on that.
Yeah.
About kids, you know, sort of naughty kids or whatever you want to call them. I know somebody will say political correctness, but naughty kids.
Yeah.
About keeping them in education, because once they booted out,
inevitably
that's
it was
it.
daft kicking me out.
They'd be done.
Yeah, I needed their help, and they just went, "Nah, we're not having you in anymore." They sent me to some place. I went to this school, like it was just like an office. We were all lads just chilling in there, and they was just so relaxed and cool. He was like, "You don't even need to stay, you can go if you want." So anyway, my sister says to me when I was 15, "I can get you a job in the factory." I think I just turned 16. I can get you a job in the factory, all right? So I say, all right then. So we'll go start working in this factory. And as soon as I'm there, I've got this big container, and I have to push it through all the women who are doing cutting on the machines. So all the offcuts of the material, they're throwing into this box what I've got, okay? And this is a big, massive, like 2 meter wide, 1.5, 2 meter wide container. So I'm pushing it. So there's 5 floors, so I've got to go to the 5th floor, all the girls giving the offcut.
we're going to remember the off-cut. I've got to ask you this. Right, my first job, I worked in a big kitchen knife manufacturers. 400 women, 30 lads. I got abused.
I did.
Nipped arse, wolf whistled at.
I did,
trying to get you to...
I did. Bloody hell. I met my baby's mum in there in the end. I was only there. So I'll tell you what happened. So I'm doing this job. Like, they want me to put rolls on my shoulder. It's too heavy for me, Sam. I say, I can't do it, mate. I can't put the rolls off material off the vans and do that. It's too heavy for me. So they say, right, we're going to give you this other job. So 5th floor, get all the women's offcuts and all the girls. Hey, beautiful. 4th floor, same thing happened. 3rd floor is the stores. Okay, so I'd go to the floors. What I started doing was, after I'd get to the 5th and 4th floor, I'd get in the lift. I'd get pieces of cardboard. I'd make a big gap in the middle of all the shite. I'd stop at the 3rd floor where the stores was. Run, get a box, get 2 boxes, just whatever it was, anything, just 2 boxes, whatever I could see, put them in, or 2 or 3 boxes.
How long have you been there?
4 days, 5 days. 4 or 5 days.
And you were already scamming the place.
So I started robbing it, right? So I get these boxes and I've got to take the material outside through this big massive car park, and there's like a shed over, but the shed backs onto the canal, like the outside river, or this canal, okay?
Yeah.
So I started getting the boxes, just sneaking out the shed, throwing them over the wall. They'd land on the canal bank, like on this side of the canal. After work, I'd just run, grab them and carry them down the canal, these 2 or 3 boxes. And there was like 12 in each one, like 12 pillowcase sets, covered pillowcases, or curtains and whatever, curtain sets, yeah? So I'd carry these boxes, probably 8 or 10 or 12 or whatever in a box, and I'd be selling them for a tenner each. Right, so I was making decent money.
Did you go door to door?
Yeah, and I knew everyone who I was selling them to, yeah? So everyone was buying them, like, obviously it was cheap, like tenners. So I was getting like 200 quid every night off that. So I was thinking, oh, this is sweet, this is a piece of piss, this, yeah? So this is the Tuesday. On the Thursday, I'd been there 2 weeks, because that's when I was getting my money. Like, they owed me my money on the Thursday. And on the Tuesday, I go and do my usual, get all the cuttings off the girls, put these 3 boxes inside the thing, wheel it over the car park. As I'm throwing them over, the manager of the finger comes running over, you little I knew what you was doing. Phone the police, he's shouting to the reception. Phone the police. You're not going anywhere. Like I was going to run. I was like, what you on about, mate? I'm going to run anywhere. Wait here for you, sweet. I wasn't scared of the police, you know what I mean, Sam?
And how old are you then?
16.
Do you think that's a good thing that you're not scared of the police?
I'll tell you something now, right? If you are scared of the police, you are scared of your own shadow. Your mind will never ever be free, because you will always have a fear of the unknown. What if this? It's all a mind trick, Sam.
Do you think mine and yours age difference? I view police different to you.
Yeah, but I'm not saying by not being scared of the police, I'm not saying disrespect the police. I'm saying if you're scared of, like, if you're driving down the road and you used to get the sweats when the police go past you, you need to work on yourself.
Yeah.
You need to work on yourself.
I see what you mean,
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I had no fear of the police in that point, yeah. So the police have come, so I get a caution for theft from a workplace. I thought, fuck it.
And the sack, obviously.
Obviously the sack. So my mate says to me, right, I can get you a job. So he's working on the tallest building in the north of England is the CIS in Manchester, right?
Yeah.
So he's on a cradle outside, going up and down, the film in the windows, putting a mirror film on the windows, all right, yeah? So he says to me, do you want to do this job with me? I can get you on the gang with us. So I said, sweet, yeah? Get on the gang with him. What do we do? I'm going up. I go, this is what the first day, Sam. I go up on the cradle, straight up, second to the top floor, get the weed out, right? Fancy a joint, okay?
We're talking about being on the outside of
the outside of the highest building. This cradle used to swing out like that, yeah?
You're not scared?
I was there like, no, it didn't scare me, because I knew there was people already on him. There was two going up and down like that. So there was lads on one, and me and my mate was on the other, yeah? And he used to come out, the wind used to swing it out, right? So first day I'm there, so get to the top, second to the top, I stop the machine, put it on lock, say to me, mate, come here, I need your help, right? And obviously there's all windows, they've already been filmed, these windows, okay, so you can't see it. Get the joint, making a joint, start smoking this joint, go down for the break or whatnot, I think. After dinner, go back up, get shouted while we're up, come back down. One of the lads comes up, I think it's whatever, or radio, whatever, can't remember. Come back down, go down, he goes, you sacked. What? It's only there a day, I'm there hours. He said, you sacked. I said, what for? He said, I've had a report that you've been smoking cannabis on the bleeding cradle. It's not dangerous, Sam. How dangerous is it when you think back? My God. But because at the time, all the flats where we're from, I used to climb out from one flat to another from the outside. So I had no fear of heights of that way. So we used to climb in and out of the empty houses and climb through the outside to get to one. That's how you would get into the houses. Like whilst the house would be empty, because we used to rob the boilers out the houses, you know, the copper boilers and stuff, yeah. So we'd break into the houses.
Don't, but yeah, I know what you
we'd
mean.
break into the houses, the empty houses, rip out the copper boiler, jump on it, take all the foam off it and go and sell it to the scrap men, yeah, get probably 15, 20 quid for it. So we used to do that, yeah. So that was I don't know where I was on then, I've lost it a little bit.
You were on the cradle smoking weed.
Yeah.
In the sack.
Yeah, so I get the sack. He says to me, right, you're tin tat straight away, okay? So sacked me straight away. So I think, fuck this, man, I'm not doing another job. So I'd already met a girl in that factory. I'd been sacked and I'd met this girl. So she lives in these flats near me. Where I grew up, she lived about 100 metres from where I actually grew up. So I've gone back onto my old estate now. So remember when I was 11, we moved about half a mile, but it was like another planet away. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I go back now to where I grew up. So I start selling weed from the door. Weed, whiz, trips. Selling them from the door. People are coming, knocking on. Buying trips, buying whiz, buying weed. And I'm taking lots of drugs, so I'm taking a hell of a lots of drugs myself, partying and stuff, going out. But I'm acting as an adult, and I ain't an adult, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And one night, I used to chill with all like the boys, like because my estate is closely related to like Salford, both very similar places. So we used to clicked with a lot of Salford boys.
Have you got a reputation by now?
As much as a rep.
Or were you well known?
Oh yeah, I was definitely well known by then. Yeah, I was selling drugs when I was in the middle of my own estate selling drugs. Yeah. So yeah, I forgot where I was.
Salford boys.
Yeah, so we was rolling in the clubs with Salford boys. So we was selling ecstasy, selling amphetamine. There was a club called the Thunderdome on my estate. So we used to go in there, then we'd go to the Conspiracy, then the Millionaires Club, then possibly the Hacienda. So we'd go to like 4 or 5 different nightclubs and be selling drugs in each one. Yep. Gang members, everyone would be in there. But at the time, they weren't kicking off with each other, Sam. It's a crazy story. So I used to hang around with loads of Cheetah Mill boys, loads of Moss Side boys, okay?
Who obviously...
They turned into arch enemies, serial killers, serial shooters, murdered each other. And I'm in the middle of it because I'm not from either of them estates, but I'm close to both of them estates. Yeah. And I know both sides of the coin, so I'm watching it. This gang war started. I was in the middle of it.
Was it over drugs and money?
It was over drugs and money and a girl. The rumour was it was a girl he started arguing over first. Yeah. And then what happened was a lot of money started going into the clubs. You think you'd get 2,000 people in a club at a tenner each. It's 20 grand in a man's office, Sam.
Yeah.
Everyone wants it. Every gang wants a piece of that money. So you'd get the Salford boys who'd straight just get one of the lads to jump the counter, take all the champagne, start popping bottles of champagne, yeah? You get boys who are expecting not to pay in because they're gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they'd get argued with on the door, say, no, you're going to have to pay. And they'd be like, what? I'm not paying.
Who had the doors then?
Noonans and stuff then.
Right.
Yeah, Damien had the doors then. So Damien was a boy then. He was a boy. But not also him, like the young governors as well, the city hooligan firm.
Yeah.
They had the doors as
Did
well.
They?
Yeah, they was a notorious firm them. So what they used to do when I was 15, they'd say to me, right, find out who's selling pills in the club. So I'd go in the club and they'd be like, you selling pills, mate? You selling pills, mate? You selling pills, mate? You selling pills? Who's selling pills? Who's selling pills? Someone would go, yeah, I'm selling pills. I'd go, yeah, sell us one. I'd buy one off him. I'd go to, I'm not saying who, I'd go to the fella.
Yeah.
He'd get him, pick him up by his ears, go and take him in the back room, take all his money, take his drugs off him, throw him out, give me the drugs to sell, go half each on it with him. So then I'd automatically have a part.
So you had a lot of money at that age then?
I had a hell of a lot of money going through my hands, Sam, my God. Every night was 600, 700, 800 quid in the clubs.
And how much of that is going into drugs? As in...
Taking them myself, fucking hell. I was tripping a lot. I was taking lots of whiz.
Did you still have any sort of family life at this point?
I'd go...
Were you keeping in touch? Or?
Yeah, I'd go over and see my mum and dad, yeah. I'd go over and see my mum more than my dad, do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, at the time, so then what happened was, I'm doing all that, and I'm living with this girl, but we're not getting on. We're not getting on at all. Like, her dad lived at the bottom of the flats. He was racist. So anytime she used to come to the flats, she used to have to hide. And I hid once and I thought, I'm not fucking doing this again. I am not sitting hiding, right? Hiding from her dad because he's racist. It's not happening. I'm not doing it.
Was he openly racist?
No, he was just, no, I'm not going to say it.
No.
So, no, he wasn't openly racist. He just was stuck in his ways. Listen, Sam, I understand people like that who don't know any better. You know what I mean? Who never know any better. Who were scared of what's at the end over the garden fence. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally scared of the unknown. Yeah? So I can relate to people who are scared of the unknown. You've got to remember, I've got black in me and white, okay? My mum never ever named who my dad was, but clearly he was dark skinned, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So the guy who I've met since, who claimed to be my dad, said to me, if we would have took you back to London, you wouldn't have lived, you'd have been dead. So I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, I was in an house one day taking drugs, and there was a baby in the cot. The girl had a baby in the cot, and the baby died in the cot. And so blasé just said, yeah, the baby died in the cot. And I just picked the baby up, and the baby was blue and stiff. And I shown it everyone in the house. And then we just phoned for the...
It's
almost
almost like train spotting that, isn't it? You know, in the film.
The way he said it...
Just cold.
It was just like... He said, you're lucky you never come to London. It's lucky you never come, because this would have happened to you straight away. That's what he said to me.
Did your mum in Style Prison give you up because she was an addict then?
She gave me up because she didn't want him to have me, I think, because she never named him. So if that was the person who was him, okay. Yeah. Because obviously, like, so my mum's gone. Like, when...
Did you ever meet her when she was alive?
Never ever, no. The last time
does that bother you?
Definitely bothers me. It breaks my heart, son. Breaks my heart, mate. Yeah. So I think we'll go to the second half. We'll talk about the second half, about me getting what happened when I was 17. I think that's a good way to end this one, Sam.
Okay.
Because it's what happens from then is just another level altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, proper. So yeah, I think we'll call that.
Call it quits. Go and get a cup of tea.
Yeah, call it a wrap, my dear bro. So.
Listen, mate. Try not to get emotional. Some of that, Marv, is it's very easy sitting here and listening to things like that, but obviously it still affect you. And fucking hell, it is. Do you know what I mean? It's some of that stuff, mate. I know how kids are affected by things that happen to them.
I know.
But yeah, thanks for your honesty, mate.
Thank you, Sam.
We'll go and get a brew, eh?
Yeah, let's go and have a brew.
Thanks for coming. As you watch this, it will be Christmas Eve, or whenever you watch it, and early next week, between Christmas and New Year,
we'll do part 2. Yeah, mate. Part 2 will be magic, mate.
Yeah, man.
You take care, brother.
I'll see you.
I'll see you later.